Well, across Africa, the push for the restitution of stolen artifacts is gathering momentum, with leaders like President Mahama adding their voices to the call. But as the debate grows, Samuel Yeboah Adams explores whether the country's museums are ready to preserve these pieces of history and tell the stories they carry.
From the dust of history and the shadows of war, pieces of the past continue to resurface. Historical objects once stolen, lost or forgotten are gradually finding their way back to where they belong. But beyond their return, an important question remains: why do these objects matter today?
That is a missing part of our history. There are all kinds of claims. I have people who say, oh, Ghanaians came from Israel, Ghanaians came from Korea. Oh, that is insignificant. We need evidence so that we all write one history.
Across the world, historical artifacts are often preserved in museums where they help tell the story of societies and cultures.
It's part of all the events and the talk and everything. It's within the museums that you can preserve all these evidence of our history, our humanity, our past.
According to UNESCO, there are about 104,000 museums across the world, with the United States alone accounting for nearly 30,000. Africa, however, has about 900 museums, and in Ghana, there are between 28 to 30 museums, including both state and privately owned. Data from the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board shows that out of 9 state-owned museums, only 4 are currently operational. One of them is the National Museum of Ghana, now 69 years old, but still facing several operational challenges.
Lack of resources, lack of human capital, and also even space. The museum is supposed to have what? A 5-story building that we're supposed to have as a national museum. And this was truncated after the 1966 school. So it means that even space for staff to work is a problem. We don't have dedicated spaces where we can have a lot of exhibition. So we are hoping that when the Ghana Museum and Monument Board is going to be 70 years next year, the 5-story building that is there, maybe the government can actually come in and see how they can actually make it as part of the project that they can do to make sure that at least we have a befitting national museum.
Despite the range of historical objects available for display, interest among many adults to learn about the country's past is declining.
If you look at the museum, at least patronage-wise is good. So you can see that we have a lot of schools, especially from the primary school up to the SSS. That is the majority of people that we see. The next group of people that come are the foreigners.
Meanwhile, with President Mahama in recent times speaking about restitutions and reparations, the conversation around the return of African artifacts is gaining momentum.
More than 12.5 million Africans were forcibly taken against their will and transported to create wealth for the powerful Western nations. We must demand reparations for the enslavement of our people and the colonization of our land that resulted in the theft of our natural resources, as well as the looting of artifacts and other items of cultural heritage that have yet to be returned in total.
As calls continue to grow, questions are being raised about Ghana's readiness to properly preserve these artifacts when they return.
If you come to the museum and you don't have a space to keep the objects, then there is also a problem. So it means that there is the need for us to start doing it. If not, when we started seeing most of the objects that are coming, that is where the government will actually see that there is the need for us to actually expand the museum to accommodate some of these things. And that will be too late for us.
Some countries, including Algeria and Egypt, are making progress in preserving their heritage through well-developed museums. Pan-African historian Professor Kojo Yanka believes that Ghana can also position itself as a leader in that regard.
National Museum itself needs rehabilitation, although in terms of renovation we've done it, but we need to save that museum because it needs to be revitalized. So GMMB should be given a new lease of life to tell the Ghana story. And Ghana, as the home of Pan-Africanism, should also support the Pan-African Heritage World Museum.
He believes technology must play a key role, pointing to the development of the Digital Museum for the Pan-African Heritage World Museum alongside educational reforms.
The Ministry of Education should set up that curriculum committee should set up a special one to talk about the history of Africa, the history of Ghana. What is our relationship to other African countries?
Many young people say while digital platforms can make history more accessible, physical museums still remain important and deserve stronger investment.
Government should support this and push funds into this so that the place is maintained properly, so that children can come here and experience things for themselves.
As the global push for the return of African artifacts intensifies, the focus is shifting beyond restitution to include preservation. For Ghana, the challenge is not only to reclaim its heritage, but also to build the institutions capable of protecting and telling those stories for generations to come. Samuel Yabua Adams for TV3 News.